My name is Noirín McHugh. I'm a sheep and beef geneticist based out at Teagasc Moor Park. So my main role is to carry out research into improving the genetic makeup of the sheep and beef industry in Ireland. So the topic I'm going to speak about today is genetic improvement in the sheep industry here in Ireland. So if I start off with why genetics is important, well, genetics is what we call permanent and cumulative. So in other words, any gains you will make in genetics will be there for the long time. So in other words, if you buy a ram that has good genetics, say for example in terms of growth rates, well, that'll pass down through the generations and it's there to stay in your flock. However, the reverse is also true. So if you buy an animal that's bad genetics, for example, a ram that is prone to lameness, well, that means that that problem will persist on your farm. So genetics is very important. We have a relatively new scheme here in Ireland that's been operated out of Sheep Ireland in terms of genetic improvement in sheep. But we can see that there's vast improvements to be made if we take the example of the beef or dairy industry here in Ireland. So at the minute in Ireland we have two main genetic indexes for sheep. We have a terminal index, and that's an index for selecting animals for slaughter, and then we have a replacement index, and that's an index for selecting rams that are going to breed replacements or for selecting ewes on. So they're two very different indexes. The terminal index is something you'll use if all your lambs are going to slaughter. The replacement index is something you'll use if you're going to select a ram to breed replacements or select ewes out of a different flock. So in terms of the index, all animals are ranked within breeds. They get a monetary value, so there's a euro sign given to each animal, and they also have a star rating. The star rating indicates how good they are on that trait within that index. So for example, a 5-star animal, well, that falls within the top 20% for that breed, for that index. On the bottom, on the reverse side, you have a 1-star animal, well, that falls into the bottom 20% for that breed. So some of the main drawbacks, I suppose, at genetics and some of the research we're conducting at the minute is low accuracies are a problem within the industry at the minute. What I mean by low accuracies, an accuracy figure is given to each animal. The accuracy figure gives us an indication of how confident we are in the actual breeding index we produce for these animals. So an animal with an accuracy of 60%, we're saying that there's a lot of information behind that animal that we've generated the breeding value for. And a low accuracy animal, an animal of 10% accuracy, well, he may be a 5-star today, but come when we get more information on him, he could fall. His accuracy could increase, but the actual star rating could decrease. So accuracies are very important. How we're going to improve them is get more data into the indexes and improve the indexes constantly. Another main drawback of the indexes to date is the lack of commercial data that's coming into the indexes. One of the main reasons for this is because we need parentage information on commercial animals. That's not really viable at the minute for most commercial farmers. It means that a commercial farmer would have to single sire mate, and they'd also have to match the ewe to the lamb at birth. That's not really viable. However, there's a new technology coming in which is called genomic selection. Genomic selection allows us to take a DNA sample, which is basically tells us how each of us differ from each other. It tells us genetic makeup of the animal, but it'll also give us parentage information. So if we can get this new technology into the sheep industry, then we can have a huge benefit for all commercial data it come in. That's one of the main areas of research at the minute that we're focusing on. Another main area of research is improving the genetic evaluations. So we're doing a whole revamp of the genetic evaluations this year. We're developing new statistical models which will improve the accuracy and the actual figures behind each of these animals. So in the future, what we're hoping to see is that we will have new indexes, probably new traits in there that are of key importance to the sheep industry, and we'll also have high accuracies behind these animals.